Greetings, come 302. I'm Alex Uribe, and today I'll be talking to you guys about equity theory. So, for a brief overview on today's concept spotlight video, I'll be going over what is equity theory, the principles of equity theory, the pros of equity, the cons of inequity, balancing equity, and I'll finish off with my engagement problem question and my references. So to start off, what is equity theory? So Guerrero tells us in our book that equity theory focuses on determining whether the distribution of resources is fair to both relational partners. So this deals with relationships based on equity, which is based on the ratio of contributions to rewards in relationships. So this doesn't mean equality, as partners do not receive equal rewards in this context, it's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the ratio of things. So, again, Garo gives us a good example with, for example, a couple planning their wedding. So let's say Rachel, the fiance, makes 10 contributions to planning her wedding. She then reaps 20 benefits from that, while her fiance, on the other hand, is making only 5 contributions to the wedding and only reaping 10 benefits. But since the ratios of 10 to 20 and 5 to 10 are equitable, they both get 2 benefits for each contribution that they make in connection to their wedding. So at the end of the day, they both get the same benefits out of it because they're putting the same type of effort, right? This isn't about equality, whether they're, both doing 10 and 10, right? Because at the end of the day, they're a couple, they get the same type of equity and understand that they both have different types of efforts and all that. So, which relates to the principles of equity theory that our book gives us. So, I know there's a lot, but I'm gonna take it down one by one and so we can digest this. So, with number one, this deals with maximizing benefits as people seek for more rewards than costs in relationships with an equity theory, right? So that leads us to number two, which is all about fair distribution and rules. This basically means that partners develop mutual rules for fairness in their relationship. So what's fair? As in, like, let's say your partner's like, okay, I'm gonna be the one making dinner today, but I need you to do the dishes, right? Because that's balanced, right? Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Building on to this, we move on to principle number three, which deals with the rewards and punishment. So equitable treatment is often reciprocated with positive behavior, such as like, hey, if your partner's doing, let's say in the morning, makes your breakfast, okay, I'm gonna do the bet. I'm gonna reciprocate that effort, giving us back equity because we both get something out of it, right? I'm getting breakfast, you're getting the bed made, right? Building on further on this takes us to principle number four, which talks about that when individuals are in inequitable relationships, so relationships that don't have the most balanced equity, they will experience distress, right? They won't be happy, and this will lead them to try to restore equity, such that the more distress they experience, the harder it will be to alleviate that stress. So you never want to get to that point where you're so focused on that in your relationship. And finally, with point number five, individuals in equitable relationships experience more satisfaction. So it's basically a rule, right? That the more equity, the happier you're going to be in a relationship. So equitable relationships are associated with positive behaviors and greater satisfaction than again those that are going through distress in inequitable relationships. So let's talk about the pros of equity. So again, our book tells us that equity occurs when two people are getting a fair deal in terms of the benefits and costs that they're getting as a result of being in a relationship with each other. This leads to things such as relational satisfaction and positive communication between partners. So those in relationships with good equity tend to be more committed to the relationships and are more satisfied. Just think about it, right? If you're not getting the same benefits and results out of your relationship like your partner is, are you going to be satisfied? More likely not, right? So that leads us to when couples and partners are satisfied, that leads to more positive communication, which then leads to partners saying, more reassuring comments like, hey, honey, I'm happy that you're doing this, right? And that gives the other partner the mental sign that, oh, wow, I'm doing good. It gives them that reassurance to keep doing the good things. And it just keeps building and building and building, right? So that's equity. That's when things are balanced. How about when things aren't balanced, right? That's when we get inequity. So inequity can be described as the imbalanced relationship in terms of the benefits each person is getting and costs that each person is paying, such that one person is getting a better deal than the other. So this is when there's no equity, right? One partner is getting more than the other. And this can have two different effects. It can lead to the person that's getting less to feel under-benefited, such as one partner will feel like they're taken for granted and will, in turn take out their anger and sadness on the other. That's happened to me before, right? I wasn't doing the best for my partner, right? I wasn't helping out too much with the chores in the house. So they felt under-benefited. They felt like all their effort was pretty much going to waste because, I was being a bad partner and not helping out with chores in the house, right? Which with communication can be severed, right? It can be solved. The other side of that coin is sometimes you can lead with partners feeling over benefited in the relationship. So the partner will then start to feel guilt and take extreme actions like balancing the scale, such as, apologizing a lot for things and being like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing too much and all that, right? It's not healthy when the scales aren't balanced. So those are the cons that come with inequity. So then you might ask, how can we balance equity in relationships? Well, you can restore these in three different ways. So first, by behavioral aspects, right? Partners can change their actions to balance the contributions and rewards, right? Very simple thing, right? Start taking out the trash, start, doing more, start helping out with the groceries, right? That can be behavioral, right? You can see as a partner that your partner's changing. Then with psychological things, right? These are things that you can do mentally to help your equity in your mind. These can be things like reassessing the contributions and benefits in a relationship. So sometimes, again, you might feel like you're not doing enough, but if you look at the grand scheme of things in your mind, it can help you come to terms with that. So, for example, for me, it's like sometimes I don't do enough chores in the house with my partner, right? But every time we go out, I pay for stuff. So that tells me mentally that, okay, I am contributing to this relationship. Although I might not be doing it in a action manner, I'm doing it in a monetary way, right? I'm taking less stress off my partner by contributing in different aspects. Another way that the book tells us that we can balance equity is by sometimes just abandoning ship. So this can be just when satisfaction is at an all-time low. Sometimes leaving the relationship is the only course of action available to help, balance equity. Sometimes you just gotta take a break. Sometimes you just gotta leave. And when you're going through an argument, disagreements, you just got to take a step back, right? Mentally come back and then reassess with your partner again and have that conversation. So, we've all gone through that point in our relationships, those that we've been in it, that things aren't going specifically the way you'd like. Sometimes you just got to step back, take a breather, which kind of goes back to my engagement prompt that I have. So for you guys, recall a time when you were in a relationship and developed a feeling of inequity. How did this affect your feeling towards your partner, and what did you do to restore the equity in the relationship? So I know I already gave an example, but I'm gonna give another one, right? So when me and my partner first moved in, we decided that we were gonna split the rent, but chores were gonna be, we never really laid out the ground rules for that. So my partner ended up taking all the chores of the house, which I thought the way I was given back to that was by, doing small things like, getting my partner flowers, helping her with school and all that. But again, it wasn't the same ratio as what she wanted, right? So this I kind of felt like in my eyes, I thought I was doing too much. And I felt again, like kind of how I said in the inequity, I felt like I wasn't being valued, right? But as a good partner, I just talked to my girlfriend and just kind of try to see her thought process of what she thought I was lacking in. And like that, with open communication, I was able to understand, okay, I might think that I'm doing enough, but I'm really not. So that's why you have to reassess what you're doing and kind of go back, start from scratch, and do different things. So that's when I started, cleaning for her, right? When she'd leave the home during the weekends, I'd do all the chores and all that, and that helped our relationship. So, um, here are my references. So Guerrero's book on close encounters, and that concludes my presentation.